I'm doing this project through my Professor Protege program, which every education major that enters as a freshman has the opportunity to do this program, which is so awesome that Slippery Rock gives them this opportunity. It really works on professional development and getting you ready for future jobs as a teacher. My Professor Protege is Dr. Von Weishaus. He is a special education professor here, and our project is making a sensory-friendly theater production for audiences that have intellectual disabilities. We're partnering with Prime Stage Theater, and they're in Pittsburgh. They do all of their plays based off of literature. So they did Perks of Being a Wallflower. This year it's Diary of Anne Frank. And that's just really, really good for audiences that have disabilities, because not only does it give them the opportunity to come and experience theater, but it also enriches their minds.
Freshman year of college, I was in Dr. Weishaus's class, and he had offered the opportunity to go to the production and be involved in like the training of the cast, and he basically offered it as a bonus assignment, but I saw it more as an opportunity to like be involved outside of the class and outside of our curriculum.
Well, to be honest, it was just like Dr. Weishaus was in class and he was like, hey, does anyone want to help? And it was my freshman year, so I was like, yeah, of course, like I'll help. Like,
just being able to have that art craft be something that everyone's accessible and everyone can go to is like huge for me. Also, the amount of events that are sensory friendly are just not there, and anything that I can do to help with that would be amazing.
So I think really what has kind of kept me involved in the theater is that I see the theater as, you know, a vehicle to affect people emotionally, but also to help them grow, not just individually, but socially, like to help move society forward. And so because I was a theater artist and I feel so strongly in it that way, I was like, this is it.
I had a little bit of an idea of what they were, just from like prior knowledge from like other classes being talked about that it helped autistic students. But then being in that class, he had talked about it a few times, and then at that final class when he offered it to us, that's when I kind of knew that I wanted to be involved. And
I did know, I just didn't know how little we were doing them. I assumed it was something that people would just kind of, you know, do because it's something that we need to do.
going into it, I had no clue what it was, like zero idea what it was. And I was like, oh, okay, this should be interesting. We had a sensory table outside in the lobby, and we just made like little things that they could play with. Like we had crayons. I think we had crayons, just coloring materials, like little things, fidgets that they could play with.
I've never been a part of one, but I know about them and I really believe in the value of them.
Sensory friendly would be any accommodations that the theater makes to tweak the shows in just little ways that make it better for audiences with disabilities to come and see and experience. So things like dimming the overhead lights, making the light effects less dramatic, so strobe lights, audience-facing lights, those will all be toned down so that it doesn't trigger anything in the audience members. Sounds, lots of loud sounds, explosions, yelling, all of that would be toned down. And there's a quiet room available, so if they ever need a break, when they feel overwhelmed, they can go to the quiet room, and there's different things in there that can help them cope with the performance, and when they're ready, they come back out and go back to their seats. And then usually at intermission, there's activities that they can do. So in the past, we've done writing letters to the cast members.
they come in kind of like anxious, and they're not really sure what's going to happen. A lot of them have never been to a sensory-friendly play. There's not a lot around here. And oftentimes during intermission, they come out with a smile on their face, and they're really like happy about what's going on, and they like the cast members. And like the last play, we had a few students that came out and wrote letters to the cast members, and it was like really gratifying and seeing how like they connect with the people that are in the play.
The audience was like a little like shy and like quiet, and they were a little confused as to what was going on. And after, I think they understood like what was going on with the theater and what they were watching, and most of them were fine. Like they all stayed in there and they had a great time.
I can definitely see it benefiting every single person that walks through that door, rather if they have a disability or if they don't. The cast members work really hard and they really focus on the content and being able to appropriately present it in different matters, because they do change like the strobe lighting and that kind of thing. So they make it comfortable for them, but they also do the same content and they do the same play as if they would for anyone. So even able-bodied and regular individuals can go see it and enjoy it. And then those with disabilities definitely get a benefit of being able to do outside things and being able to go into the community and being involved in plays like everyone else can.
Absolutely. I mean, they finally get to see these productions that otherwise they wouldn't be able to. I know going to a show for somebody with, say, social anxiety can be hard, let alone these kids who are sensitive to light, sound, touch, all of those things.
I have worked with students who are on the autism spectrum, and what I've seen is that there is being engaged in the work. I'll talk about two things: being engaged within the process of creating theater, but then also watching theater. But I have noticed with those students that kind of creativity and that freedom within the environment, right? There's structure, but there's also an encouragement to like express and be free, tends to be really exciting for them, and maybe in a way that they're not able to experience in a traditional classroom setting. And then in terms of watching a theater production, the setting is just right, where they're able to really feel like themselves and that they're accepted, you know, for who they are in the space. Then it's a place for them to get to engage with the emotions and the themes within a play in a really kind of safe way.
I learned a lot about individuals with disabilities, but I also learned what it takes to set up a sensory production and learning how to create such a large event. So it definitely helped in many ways throughout my college career.
I mean, any way that you can market yourself and any way that you can help is more, I guess, practice on your part. And the more I practice, practice makes perfect.
It taught me what sensory friendly was and how to set up a sensory friendly production, and like the table, I would have never known like those different things would help students who need that. So it was nice.
Our ultimate goal would definitely be to spread awareness as to what sensory friendly productions are, but not only that, but the lack of availability that people with disabilities have to different experiences, like going to see a show or like going to see sporting events or going to see any type of thing that could possibly upset them in different ways. So by doing this, we hope that other places and other areas of the state, of the country even, will realize how little these things really are present in the communities, and maybe they can up the number of productions that are sensory friendly and make more accommodations for people that have disabilities.